It's not like he was getting Pearl Jam to collaborate with him.
That would be. I want to hear Pearl. I want to hear a Pearl Jam fucking Jay-Z album.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. You're watching.
Just, every time your intros are getting weirder and weirder. This isn't discussed beforehand, people. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, it's all a surprise. Even I don't know what I'm gonna do.
What show is this? Tell the people.
You're watching / listening to Blood on the Mic. It is a show where we bring you all things related to music. And I think so far we've had a pretty good diverse set of music. Right?
Yeah, and especially today, we're going to bring you a strange piece of music. An album, I guess it's an EP, that I don't really know why it exists. I don't know why they wanted to make this album, but it does exist.
It does, yeah.
It's Linkin Park and Jay-Z. What's the album called? Crash Course.
It's a Collision Course.
Collision Course, sorry.
Yeah.
But
refer to your notes. Like, it came out in 2004.
Yeah, Collision Course.
At like the peak of popularity for...
Yeah, so like 2004, what was around that time? I mean, Linkin Park and Jay-Z, obviously. But when did Black Album come out? Was that 2003?
Yeah, so the Black Album from Jay-Z came out in 2003. That was his last of his, at least in my opinion, of his good albums.
Also like the height of his popularity.
Yeah. I would say like at that point he was a superstar for sure. He was the dominant player in the hip hop world.
Yeah. And Linkin Park around 2004 was that when Meteora came out or?
I think Meteora came out in 2003 actually as well.
Yeah. So also around the height of Linkin Park's popularity.
Yeah, Numb was already a song that was, I mean, to this day is still like their most popular song.
Yeah.
It had just come out around that same time, and but yeah, they were definitely the most popular band, at least from my anecdotal experience.
Oh, Linkin Park was like, so just to give you guys some background, I guess. I'm 26. You're 28.
I'm 28.
So when we were kids, like early 2000s, how old were you around 2004? I was 10.
I was 13 when.
So yeah, this stuff is stuff that we were listening to when we were children. Like it was all over the radio. Jay-Z was everywhere. Linkin Park was everywhere. Linkin Park was like everywhere. I remember listening to Linkin Park like all over the radio. It was just everywhere.
Yeah, Linkin Park.
It was like the biggest of the sad white boys.
Yeah, Linkin Park. I remember like the videos on MTV and. What was the Breaking the Habit? I remember that video particularly. Especially because there's not really a lot of rapping on that one. So that was like... So I guess to give you some background, personal background. I used to listen to a lot of rap when I was really young. Eminem was... I guess besides Jay-Z, Eminem was the biggest rapper at the time. And so I got into music through Eminem... And like through the other stuff that was popular at the time, Chingy, Ludacris, all that stuff, and when this came out, I think it was a big deal because it was the first time that I really gave rock a try.
That's so funny because I had the complete opposite experience. Because when I was a kid, I was much more into the sad white boy rock music. Like I remember the first CD I ever bought was 3 Days Grace.
Yeah.
And, I was huge into... What was that one? Papa Roach. I like Papa Roach. I remember just all the, like, the stupid new metal, like, stuff like that. Like, I was really into when I was a kid.
The late new metal. Of the
late new metal.
The new metal with... It had some, like, post-grunge mixed in there, too.
Yeah, and... I didn't really get into rap until high school, really. The only rap I liked when I was a kid was Kanye West.
Yeah, Kanye West wasn't really even that big at that time. He was just only starting. I think he was making a buzz.
Yeah. And Jay-Z specifically, I didn't even like Jay-Z. I mean, I'm a huge rap fan now, but I didn't even start liking Jay-Z until his latest album, 444, came out. Like, I listened to that.
Was that the first one that you liked?
That's the first Jay-Z album I actually liked.
Oh,
Like, and I've tried listening to him before that album came out, and I like never got into him. But then I really loved 444.
Yeah, 444. I mean, it's a more mature take. I think he lets go of a lot of like the stereotypical. Especially because he came up around the Blink era. With the thing with Jay-Z is a little weird because he's not. I wouldn't say Jay-Z defined the Blink era. He just happened to be one of the most popular people during the Blink era. The Blink era was more defined by people like P. Diddy and like what he was doing on his record label, but the Jay-Z style was really more like be dominant, like be like this big rooster and like that was pretty much him. And also he embraced a lot of like what I like to call capitalist rap, where he
isn't most rap capitalist rap?
Actually, surprisingly, not really. I mean, capitalism is very strong in rap, but like this kind of like capitalism, like actually in 444, he like goes all out and he talks about like.
You know what? You have a point, because it's really like when he was younger, he was all about like getting money, spending money, all that shit.
Yeah, he's a hustler.
Like, and honestly, when he gets old, he's the only rapper who transitioned into being an actual capitalist. Like, whereas 444 is all about talking about generational wealth, how to build wealth, how to buy property and stuff. I never thought of that. That's such a great point.
Jay-Z is the ultimate capitalist rapper, and
that's so amazing. I never thought of that before.
And so his music definitely tends to like it draws attention from certain crowds more than others. Like
he's a right wing.
I mean, just like in the economic terms, I would say, because he's still. You won't quite catch him like supporting a Republican because he's still, very strong.
He secretly voted for Trump. I bet you.
Well, maybe we'll see.
You think Beyonce is the reason why he got woke?
I mean, I think she's definitely the more woke out of the both of them. So I think
because I feel like ever since he got with Beyonce like how long, like years and years ago at this point. But I think recently,
around the same time this stuff was coming out. Really,
I feel like Beyonce's the one that where Jay-Z's just like I want to make money, and Beyonce's like no, you have to support all these woke causes and shit. And Jay-Z's like okay, fine, but can we still be billionaires? And she's like yeah, we can be billionaires.
He's definitely transformed over the years. I think the fact that he made it and like now he he's not at the rapper level anymore. Now he's like
he's a businessman, not a business.
He's a business man,
not a businessman.
Yeah, and so he sees what the upper echelon of society is like, and I guess that's probably helped him become woke, but in like that kind of sense where he like actually knows what is underneath the hood, what's running the society.
I don't know. I think Jay-Z. I think he's a businessman in every sense of the word. I think everything he does, like, he does it for money somehow. Like, I think he knows how he's gonna make money.
I think he has his limits. I've been watching this series on Netflix about it's like a little documentary about the mafia in New York. Mm-hmm. And something they talk about in the mafia is that back in the day, the bosses they didn't want to have people selling drugs. For some reason, they were just against selling drugs, which is weird because like you look at the mafia,
alcohol and stuff.
Maybe at one point they did, like during Prohibition or something. But like they just said like we're not gonna sell drugs, blah blah blah. If I catch you selling drugs, you're dead. Like they will kill somebody immediately once they found out they were selling drugs, and that struck me as very strange because like one of the key things about the mafia is that like they're just driven by profit. Like I mean that's why Jay-Z, his first album is like a mafia themed album because he incorporating those aspects of it. But yeah, I think Jay-Z kind of follows a similar mentality that like he still has to like stay true to himself in like what he feels strongly about. He's not just a money making machine. I think at the end of the day, he's still a person with
I think you're right that he still has a moral code.
Like there's a certain world that he wants to live in, like I would say, and like.
But I think every decision he makes, he always has to look at it through the lens of like, will this make me lose money? Like,
Yeah.
if it's gonna make him lose money, he won't do it.
Yeah, or he'll be very careful about how he does it and all that stuff. He's very money conscientious, I would say.
Where like there's some people that don't care about like whether something will lose money if they care about it strong enough. Like I think he like if it will lose his money, he's not gonna do it. Like
Yeah.
he's not gonna.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think he would purposely like.
I think he'll do things that like might not necessarily gain him money, or like he might be willing to not do things that would have made him money otherwise. But you're right. I don't think he's gonna do anything that will lose him money, and like most of his activities still just like, how can I make money? I think.
Yeah, whereas somebody like Kanye West is just like
Kanye West. We're not gonna discuss the psychology of Kanye.
We went
West.
on way too much of a tangent about Jay-Z, so we talked about Linkin Park well enough. So, yeah, in 2004, they made this album, Collision Course. It's a mashup album where they take it's 6 songs on there. There's 6 songs mashed up, 6 songs from Linkin Park mashed up with 6 songs from Jay-Z. And the inspiration for this was the Grey album, which was, Danger Mouse took songs from the Beatles' White Album and Jay-Z's Black Album and mashed them up. And this was like, it got it.
That makes it okay.
It's cool.
It's very interesting.
It's the concept's more interesting, I think, than the music.
And I think it for its time, it sounded very different, I would say, because rap had a weird like thing about it back then. Like it was like there was a production that went along with rap. It was a production that didn't, and like folky songs didn't seem like it just didn't seem like a fit for rap.
I think I don't know. I think people are more open now in sampling weirder things, more obscure things, and things that don't.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that like Danger Mouse with the Grey album, I think he was one in several people in that wave of like pushing the boundaries of production. I mean, obviously you can look at a lot of underground rap from like MF Doom.
Yeah.
Even like the up and coming big stars like Kanye West. He has some interesting samples. I mean, maybe not quite yet, but like he would have interesting.
But
samples.
It's interesting though because early on in rap, people were sampling rock music all the time. People like Public Enemy sample the shit. I mean, there's songs
Run
basically
DMC
rock songs.
was all rock.
Run DMC, De La Soul sample a lot of rock, Led Zeppelin stuff, Steely Dan. Sample there's a lot of rock sampling going on.
Yeah,
but it feels like I
80s
think in the 90s, in the early 2000s, they settled on a specific sound.
Yeah.
And they kind of like didn't deviate from that sound too much.
Yeah, there was a more limited palette. I think because like there was so much gold that they could find.
Yeah.
Like, and it just hit so well that they were just like, I don't know, it just stuck for a long time.
Yeah, I guess because that's the sound that got really popular.
Yeah.
So they're just like, well, it's working, kind of thing.
Right. It was all like a lot of like, R&B samples mostly.
So yeah, I could see how if somebody chooses to sample the Beatles and Jay-Z, it's a big contrast. I can see how that can get attention.
Yeah, I mean it was a nice little shakeup, I would say. But yeah, I think Jay-Z he wanted to have something. I think he appreciated the concept, or like he appreciated the sound of it, but he was a little upset that he wasn't the one
involved
behind it.
This is all speculation, by the way. We have
right.
no idea what he felt about the album or anything. But I tried to look for why they made this album. All I saw is that,
two biggest stars. I mean, like huge guy in rap, huge group.
But who
in
put
rock.
it together? Did Linkin Park call Jay-Z? Did Jay-Z call Linkin Park? Like, was this completely manufactured? I have no idea why.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like, I don't know what the. Because they weren't in the same label together. I'm sure. Like Jay-Z has his own label and stuff.
Yeah, and I saw that it said the Grey album, kind of what's the word, inspired it, but like only in the loosest sense that the Beatles are technically rock music and Linkin Park are technically rock music because they're completely different styles of rock music.
Well, it's also Jay-Z's music that was there, so I think it inspired on Jay-Z's part more than anything else.
But like you hear your shit mixed with the Beatles and you're like, I should get Linkin Park.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch, but like Linkin Park makes sense. I mean, most of those bands make sense, but Linkin Park in particular because Linkin Park they already had a rapper in the group, and a lot of the beats have like hip hop beats to it.
Yeah,
like
and
they released like a
in 2002 of their own stuff called Reanimate. Is it Reanimator or Reanimation? I don't know.
It has a robot on the front.
But it has some rappers on it. Evidence, Planet Asia, Pharaoh Monch. Not huge people, but they're rappers.
Yeah.
On the remix song. So I guess they had a history of putting rappers on their shit.
It's not like he was getting. It's not like he was getting Pearl Jam to collaborate with him.
That would be. I want to hear Pearl. I want to hear a Pearl Jam fucking Jay-Z album.
Yeah, so let Jay-Z and Linkin Park. It seemed like I guess it is kind of a strange collaboration.
It's a very strange collaboration.
Yeah,
and it's funny. This won a Grammy.
Did it?
The song "Numb" Encore that won a Grammy for Best Rap Song Collaboration.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Hashtag Grammy so white, and the Grammy, especially 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it was they didn't know how to approach rap music.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the same group that I think they gave Eminem all the Grammys all the time.
They gave Macklemore.
They gave Macklemore on the same year that
the greatest rap album ever made, Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly."
Was it that one or was it?
No, it was that one.
Are you sure?
Wait, it might have been Good Kid, Mad City.
I think it might have been Good Kid, Mad City.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Well, that's also an amazing. Yeah. That's also an amazing album.
Or was it
way better than Macklemore ever? Way better than anything Macklemore has ever done in his life.
Yeah.
And anything Kendrick Lamar has ever done. And literally, Macklemore apologized for winning.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be up here.
That's the funniest thing.
My song's dope, but please.
But Kendrick.
Yeah. No. That actually does not surprise me at all from the Grammys. The Grammys. Yeah. Hashtag Grammy so white. It's literally just a bunch of old white men that run that are the executives of Sony and Warner Brothers and all this other stuff. But,
yeah, and it's funny too that I saw there was a 40-minute behind the scenes video or something that accompanies this.
Yeah.
That it's partially them recording the album and then partially just a live concert. But it shows them in the recording studio before Jay-Z comes in, and it's just what's his name, Chester Bennington, who's the singer in Linkin Park,
R.I.P.
just saying just making fun of how white they are, waiting for a black rapper to come in.
Where's my Frappuccino?
You can only put shots of me looking cool because Jay-Z's gonna get here later on, and he's way cooler than me.
Yeah, basically.
When they throw that in the album at the start, without any there's no context to it. I'm just why are they talking? Is this are they actually wanting their Frappuccino? Maybe at the time it was a little bit more obvious they were joking around about it, but looking at how Linkin Park developed over the years, especially their last few releases, I'm I can totally see Chester Bennington being where's my Frappuccino? And their music was definitely more Frappuccino friendly by their later years.
Yeah, and it's funny when they got to the live concert portion of the video because they come out singing the songs or whatever, and when Jay-Z's rapping his parts, what's his name, Mike Shinoda's in the background doing the hype man thing where he's finishing his lyrics and shit and doing all that shit.
Uh-huh.
And then when Mike Shinoda starts rapping his part, Jay-Z's just in the background, and he clearly has no idea what his parts are. Mike Shinoda knows all Jay-Z's raps.
Of course, yeah.
And then Jay-Z's just yeah, you do your thing. I'm gonna.
Yeah, because all the stuff that Linkin Park talks about is that whole teenage experience of not fitting in and identity crisis and frustration with your parents.
Yeah, and Jay-Z, he was.
I'm pretty sure his whole
he's I was selling crack when I was 16.
Yeah, he was just how am I gonna survive on these streets? How am I gonna get those fine ladies? He had a very more exterior facing, I think.
But I thought this is an interesting because it's a mashup album.
Yeah.
So they didn't. It's not they recorded new stuff for the album, but they did change some stuff up. The songs they actually. It's not Danger Mouse who took the already recorded.
Yeah, no, I think they re-recorded the whole. They re-recorded the thing.
They didn't re-record the entire thing, but they did re-record parts of it.
Because they have to match the key of each song. So I mean, I'm sure some songs happen to be in the same key, but
yeah, there's some they tried to make them match as much as they could, and then they re-record the stuff that they couldn't fix up.
Yeah.
So it was a little more intricately done than just somebody like Danger Mouse who's like, working with what he's working with. Like he can't ask like Paul McCartney to re-record his part,
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to get into the album?
Sure.
Let's get into the album discussion.
Album discussion. All right, I'll give you my general thoughts on the album, just overall. And this is where, if you haven't noticed, we always have a little LP hanging out over here behind us. And today's LP that I've chosen, can you pass this to me? Is a record that I found for $1 at the record store. It's called Latin a la Lee, and it is Broadway hits stylized with Afro-Cuban beat.
I'm going to listen to this album after this because that sounds really weird. And
you know what? This is what I feel is the 50s equivalent of what this album is about. It's Jay-Z style.
Is this offensive? This is Afro-Cuban. These are like mariachi. No,
they're,
this is like...
they're like bull runners.
This is definitely white 50s people thinking like Cuban people probably do that.
Yeah, did they do that? I know they do it in Mexico and
Spain. They don't do that in Cuba.
But I don't
Mexico,
know.
they have like rodeos and shit. They're like cowboys in Mexico.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if Cuba had any bull runners. I don't know. I mean, it does seem like a bit of a stereotype. That's definitely not what I would put for Afro-Cuban. I mean, they're not even. First of all, they're not even.
Yeah, they're not even Afro-Cuban.
Right.
It's weird that they even use that word. when Afro-Cuban even something people said back then.
I don't know. What was not Afro-Cuban back then? I feel like all Cuban.
Like me.
Yeah, but I feel like all Cuban music, at least all Cuban music
Afro-Cuban?
that mattered, was Afro-Cuban back then.
Was there like?
But yeah, that's kind of like how I feel about this album. It's a mashup. It's like, oh, what would we like if we get Jay-Z beats on Linkin Park songs, or the opposite, like Linkin Park beats on Jay-Z songs. And normally I'm very against mashups, but surprisingly, like this one works out like a lot better than expected. Especially,
yeah, I actually liked it. I didn't expect to like it, and I feel what you're saying about mashups where. I'm not against it, but I'm never going to listen to a mashup album. Like, I'd listen to a mashup album once just to see what it sounds like because I'm interested. Yeah. But I would never really choose to listen to it more than that because I'm like, I'll just listen to the originals,
Yeah, I mean, like, what's your opinion on something like Chitty Bang? Do you ever listen to Chitty Bang?
No, I have no idea what that is.
They were a group. They were only popular in like 2011. And I think that's it. I don't know, they disappeared just as quickly as they showed up, but yeah, they had a lot of mashups that actually worked.
Yeah, I'm not interested in mashups. Like, wasn't Girl Talk like is it Girl Talk? Is that what the name of it was?
I don't know.
It was like a mashup thing or something. I don't know. I'm just not interested in mashup things really.
Yeah, mashups. Yeah. I mean, I prefer like sampling over mashups, but still, or like plunderphonics if we want to get really extreme about it. Where it's just like super mashups.
Yeah, just mashups in general seem really a
lot of times they're hokey. Yeah, a lot of times they don't work out very well. Sometimes you do it kind of like for the novelty of it.
Yeah.
What I've been getting into is like Toxicity from System of a Down, but it's a folk song. And then,
oh yeah, the shit like that on YouTube that pops up, yeah. Or like what I've seen was like Caro Bonito Flamingo but Death Grips.
Yeah, it's all of that shit. I mean, it's fun once.
Yeah.
And but this one has like a little bit of like re-listening factor to it. Maybe it's because the songs themselves on their own are already good. But I think they chose good songs, I think, overall for the pairings.
Yeah, and a lot of the mashups, like, yeah, they just work really well. And I think it's because you had both artists come in and like actually rework them so they do come together, like seamlessly. Yeah, because there's a song like what was it? Yeah, Jigga What and Faint.
Yeah,
like that was one of the ones that had like really smooth like transitions together. Like the way they changed the beats to like coincide with each other like worked really well.
Really, I thought that one was like the most. I felt like that one was the most forced mashup.
I thought they actually made it because like they had the beat from the Jay-Z song started off, and it has a really cool bass line and stuff and kind of laid back drums, but then they have like the faint like kind of orchestra swell sample thing that they use in the Linkin Park song, like coming in the background and kind of like
no, I mean like I agree that the beginning of the song is pretty good.
I'm talking more about the beginning. I think the ending they kind of just shoved the Linkin Park part.
Yeah,
in.
once like Because like my biggest complaint is that like I like it when they get like the beat of one song and they try to bring it into the other person's song. Like over here they get the Gigawatt starts off the way it starts off in the actual song, and I'm not a big fan of the original myself. So I think this is actually an improvement when they get the intro of that song and then they come in with the faint instrumentals in the background, and I think it works out well.
But then they switch it because it has like the more laid back drums from the Jay-Z song, and then it switches into the faint, which has like the more speedy drums.
Yeah.
And then like Jay-Z rapping over that really fast beat, like that works really well when it has the pure.
Yeah, I think that works. I think what I feel like doesn't work is when Chester comes in later on in the song,
where it's just a straight up Linkin Park.
Yeah,
song,
where it's just straight up Linkin Park. At that point, I'm like, I mean, if I wanted to listen to that, I could just go back and listen to that song.
Yeah.
Like, it's good if you want to include, like, a few aspects of the song thrown in there, but literally, like, the last 2 minutes of that song are just Chester doing the normal song.
Yeah, and I feel like a similar thing happened with, they did a similar thing with Jay-Z songs. The Big Pimping one was just the same beat from Big Pimpin', but...
Yeah, so like the second half of that song was the same thing. It was just Big Pimpin'.
It was just Big Pimpin' with a Linkin Park verse on it.
Well, the beginning of it had the Linkin Park verse on it.
That's what I'm saying. It's Big Pimpin' with a Linkin Park verse.
And but for that one, actually, I really liked. Paper Cut has never been like my favorite song from Linkin Park, so I think that the Big Pimpin' beat made it better.
It's so weird to me hearing Linkin Park on these beats. Like when they rap on the Jay-Z beats, I'm just like, what are you doing on these beats?
Yeah,
like
it is strange because it is a bit of a like an incongruency
because I think that whole thing with new metal, like a lot of new metal and like those rap metal things, with like a lot of the reason why those rappers even work. None of the rappers from new metal bands and stuff were good, except for like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Zach was a good rapper. None of the other ones were good rappers.
No,
but they worked off the novelty of the fact that they were rapping on like metal and rock songs.
Yeah, and like they also like. They had all this angst coming out, and like the music, I guess, matched the feeling that they were trying to.
Yeah. So then when you have Mike Shinoda rapping over a Jay-Z beat, it's just like and then you have this guy rapping about being a angsty white boy, and it's just like he's being a mediocre rapper over a Jay-Z beat, and then like, okay, where's Jay-Z? You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then Jay-Z comes on these like new metal beats and shit, or like these Linkin Park songs, and I think every time he's on there, I think it's great. Cause like I think it's actually a really good matchup having him, cause it's really like he's the best new metal rapper. Cause he's such a good rapper, and then he's on these like Linkin Park beats. It's really interesting.
I do prefer. I think it fits better. Yeah, when Jay-Z's rapping over Linkin Park beats. I think it works out better that way because there's not that weird, like the aggression from Linkin Park still matches him the same way that like these other smooth production would, but in a different way. Like it just like, I think it highlights a different aspect of Jay-Z, but it's still present. Whereas like the smooth production doesn't really fit
at all,
well with
like
Linkin
the
Park.
Very first song is "Dirt Off Your Shoulders."
Yeah,
and then like it starts off with Linkin Park rapping over "Dirt Off Your Shoulders" beat, and I'm like, immediately I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It like, I feel like it kind of works, but you know that song I also feel like, you know, "Dirt Off Your Shoulders" didn't need lying from you in the background, if that makes any sense. Like it just like, yeah, it's interesting to hear both ways. Like, oh yeah, I can see that. Okay, yeah, that also sounds like it could work, but at the end of the day, like each of the songs, at least in that case, like each of the songs individually, I thought were better on their own. "Dirt Off Your Shoulder," "Lying from You," and I'm like, yeah, this is interesting, but it's kind of unnecessary. Like the beat is different, like the production is different, but it doesn't like it. I feel like also in that case, it's not new enough to like make it memorable. Like it's just just a little thing that they did, like, you know, all that stuff. Whereas, like, I mean, maybe in some other ones it stands out a little more. Like the Gigawatt, with Faint in the background, I thought that one kind of stood out. Even though I think Faint is still better than the collaboration, I do think that Faint made Gigawatt better. If that makes any
Yeah.
sense. I mean, I didn't like the production very much on the original.
A song I also liked a lot was H to the Izzo with In the End, and I like that just because I think that beat is amazing. You know, it's a Kanye West production. It's a great beat.
And it is a great beat.
And it was weird hearing Linkin Park on it, but I think that's the one where it's closest to working.
Like musically it makes sense, but like it's just the lyrical mismatch is still there.
No, lyrically it makes no sense. But like I think he flowed well on the song, Mike Shinoda, and then Chester singing in the background. He like changed it because the original song he was singing was in a minor key, and then he changed it to a major key, and it actually was really interesting hearing him sing this like song that was originally minor in a major key. Over the thing, it was actually an interesting change up for both songs.
That is. I mean, it is nice to hear this stuff and like be like, okay, like I mean, especially if you're a fan of either one of these two artists. But for that one, you know, it's also the same complaint that like the first half of it is just Izzo. Like, and I'm just like, why am I just listening to the track? And then, you know, Linkin Park comes in. Like, I feel like they could have shortened the part that was the original.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes this album kind of reeks of like advertising. Like they're each advertising their own music.
Jay-Z, the capitalist rapper.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like I was looking at the sourcing, and so Linkin Park splits it half and half. Half of the songs are from Hybrid Theory, half are from Meteora, and then like Jay-Z, most of them, like I think half of them are from the Black Album, which had just come out recently, and then the other ones were from like one song from each of his previous albums.
Yeah.
From the Blueprint, Volume 2 and Volume 3, from the Hard Knocks Life or whatever. But not Blueprint 2. Blueprint 2 sucks. Don't get that one. But yeah, no, I think that the intention of this album, in a way, is so that you can have enough of the original and this other one, so that like let's say you're a big Jay-Z fan and you know Big Pimpin', then you'll hear Big Pimpin', but you also hear Paper Cut part of it, and then maybe that way you can also become a Linkin Park fan.
Do you think any huge Jay-Z fan in 2004 was gonna hear Linkin Park and be like, I want to listen to that?
You know, maybe not like the most hardcore ones, but like I think a lot of like the suburban listeners who were into Jay-Z, a lot of them could probably did transition.
Well, I mean, I think it was just a novelty record in the biggest sense of the word, because it's a novelty. They could get both markets, not because they necessarily wanted to hear it, like they were excited to. They were just like, "This is weird. Let me pick it up. Like, what is this?"
Yeah, it was definitely like people were like, "Whoa!" But like also at the same time, when you take a step back, you're just like, "Meh." Like,
and I think they also got lucky because one of their songs became a huge hit,
right?
Numb /
Encore or Numb Encore,
and like, I think that probably is the best song on the album. I think it works really well.
I'm surprised it did actually work so well because I mean Encore is not a huge song from Jay-Z, but Numb is the biggest song from Linkin Park.
Yeah,
and I thought that pairing, I didn't know if like that unbalance was gonna hurt one or the other. Like, you know, like it could be like, oh, we already heard this song, we know Numb, why is there like this Jay-Z bit attached to it?
Yeah.
Or possibly people going like, what is this song? What is Encore? I don't even know Encore. Like, or, you know, maybe Jay-Z. I remember when I first listened to the Black Album, I listened to Encore and I was like, whoa, this is like very different from the non-Encore version. What are these horns? And but I do think that this one actually works out the best out of any one of the songs.
Yeah, because I think just because the beat is more, it's because it's one of their slower songs, like it's more laid back than, you know, their angry white boy shit.
Right.
And
I think they actually took out the guitars, or at least most of the guitars, in the sample as well.
And I don't know. I think since they made it more laid back, kind of like slower, I think it works for Jay-Z more that way.
Yeah.
Instead of just like the pure novelty of just having like Jay-Z over like metal stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they tailored it a little more to Jay-Z.
I think they did tailor it a little bit more to Jay-Z. And also when the Numb part comes in, it's not the full song.
Yeah.
Because the song kind of like has multiple sections to it. So there's only one of the sections from Numb. And so in that way, it's not a replacement for Numb. You still go for Numb, and the most memorable sections from Numb are not in the Numb Encore. Mashup, and then if you listen to Encore, it's like completely different than this one because the production is completely different. So I think this is the only case where they have where the two songs stand out by themselves, and then the combination of the two songs is also like a different creation.
Yeah.
They created something new out of it, as opposed to just having this mishmash that is half this, half that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it's like the most fully realized song out of the bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know why it works, but it works. But yeah, no, I mean, this album's kind of short though. It's 20 minutes.
It's an EP.
I think it's a good length for a novelty record because you listen to it and you get enough out of it to satisfy.
This is the perfect length. Yeah. If it was any longer, I wouldn't want to listen to it. But I didn't have a problem listening to it. It was fun. It's fun to listen to. I don't hate any of the songs.
No, I mean probably the only song I think is the Closer song. I think is maybe a little redundant. It's not bad, but it's a little.
Which song?
The 99 Problems.
Oh, the Closer. Yeah.
Yeah, mixed in with Points of Authority and One Step Closer.
Yeah, because 99 Problems was already it already sampled rock music.
Yeah, it already has a riff.
Yeah, they just kind of switched it from rock to metal.
Yeah,
they just put some metal guitars on, and I'm it kind of still has the same mood. It's not really that change.
Yeah, it is a similar mood, and it doesn't have that same memorable Rick Rubin.
You hate Rick Rubin. What are you talking about, memorable?
It's memorable though. It's he has a lot of repetition, and it kind of sounds like a Neanderthal production.
Oh my god! Such Rick Rubin hate. I can't you just have such sly little remarks about Rick Rubin. Yeah, it's like a Neanderthal produced it.
Yeah, it's Rick
Rubin's great. What are you talking about? Rick Rubin's a legend.
It's just there's so much empty gaps.
That's the point. The rapper fills the empty gaps.
I understand what the point is. This is the same shit
that we had with the Fiona Apple thing. You can leave the spare instrumental because the performer is such a strong performer that they fill the gaps.
Why not just even go a cappella at that point? I mean,
yeah, fucking go a cappella. That's a thing rappers do.
Yeah, no, they do. I don't know. I just don't prefer it. I would say. I mean, I understand Rick Rubin has his own mad genius way about it, but I still think it's kind of it just seems too simplistic for my taste. The sound of it, not maybe not the thought that went into it, but the sound itself just sounds very just primal.
I don't understand you, but that's fine. I don't need to. Do you have anything else to say about this album?
This album, there's really not much else to say about this album. It was really big at the time. I used to ask all the people in my classes hey, do you have a copy of this album? Can I burn it off of you? And no, nobody did actually. But this is the album that got me to switch from listening to Eminem and Ludacris to listening to Linkin Park and System of a Down and all everything else that was popular in rock at the time.
This album did not do that for me. I just heard Numb Encore on the radio, and I'm that's weird that Linkin Park put Jay-Z on their song. And then I just went on with my day.
I love Numb so much, and I was just whenever it came on, I was just so excited for it, and then I just realized that I didn't care for the encore part anymore. I was just I just want to hear this Numb part of it, and then I went out and got the Linkin Park record.
Yeah. Okay, well. It's pure capitalism, I guess. But sometimes...
It's mostly capitalism.
Yeah, but sometimes I can work out. Okay, well, that was... what's the shit called? Collision Course.
It was Collision Course with Linkin Park and Jay-Z.
Yeah. So, interesting album.
If you want to stay in touch and watch more videos and all that stuff, you can go on YouTube.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash
ring the bell.
Smash the subscribe, smash the comment button.
What's your
type a comment.
do you have an Instagram? At Blood on the Mic.
Instagram is
We have a
at-
Twitter.
Yeah, Instagram is at Blood on the Mic. Twitter is at Blood on the Mic, the number 1. My Twitter is Torna Lewis, at Torna Lewis. And yeah, follow us, do all that shit. We're gonna make new videos about different shit. Make recommendations as to what you want us to listen to, and we'll listen to it.